Good morning, doctor and everyone who listen to these presentations. I'm Shannon Likaway, metric number 263252. Today, I'm going to present the outcome of my research. The topic of my research is study of the higher education sector and customer satisfaction using service profile change model. The purpose of this research is to identify employee satisfaction toward their job and customer satisfaction toward the service quality in UUM. There will be two groups of respondents will be focused in this research. The first group is the employee, may also refer as the lecturer in UUM. The second group is customer, may also refer as the student in UUM. In this research, I will using quantitative data collection methods. So there will be two sets of questionnaire will be distributed for this group of respondents for data collection. What is service profile change? Service profile change is a theory used to analyze the relationship between profitability, customer loyalty, employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction toward product or services of a firm. The SPC analysis will provide us an integrative framework to understand how the firm operational investment into service operations that related to customer perception and behavior, and how this translates into profit. The benefit of SPC. SPC helps to evaluate the quality of internal service, which refers to the extent to which an organization's performance can provide its employees with the type of quality support that will enable them to serve the customer effectively. There will be three main objectives in this research. The first objective is identify the data analysis of satisfaction of the employee in the higher education sector toward job satisfaction. The second objective is identify the data analysis of the satisfaction of the customer in the higher education sector toward quality service. The third objective is determine the relationship between the employee satisfaction and customer satisfaction by using service profile change. This slide was showing us the framework of this research. For employee level, the FYP1 will be service climate and the FYP2 will be organization identifications. For the TV, it's job satisfaction. For service climate may refer to how the management department treat the employee. For organization identifications may refer on the psychology thinking of the employee. Does they feel a sense of home with the organization? For customer level, the FYP1 will be perceived value and the TV will be customer satisfaction. For perceived value may refer as does the customer feel worth on the time and the money they spend on the services. In this research, I will using open-ended question, which means there is more than one option for the respondent to choose in the questionnaire. Now I'm moving on to the data result. For information, there are 24% of lecturers answering the questionnaire. Based on this few tables, we may notice that the lecturers who answer this questionnaire are come from different gender, races, age, teaching experience, as well as college. For information, female lecturers contributed 66.7% in answering this questionnaire, while male lecturers only contributed 33.3% in answering this questionnaire. Now I'm moving on to the demographic of customer. For information, there are 200 of students answering this questionnaire. Much of them are come from different gender, age, semester, races, college, and years. For information, female students contributed 76.5% in answering this questionnaire, and male students only contributed 23.5% in answering this questionnaire. To support the reliability of this research, I will showing the reliability data in this research. Reliability analysis refers to the fact that the scale should consistently reflect the contract it is measuring. In this research, the reliability data help to analyze the procedure by calculating a number of commonly used measuring of a scale reliability and also provide information about the relationship among the points by using scale measurings. For information, when the kappa alpha is above 0.5, the relationship between one point and other is considerably strong. So in this research, all the points are rated are considered strong and reliable. Now I'm moving on to the descriptive analysis of employee for service agreement or IP1. In this session, much of the lecturer agree and strongly agree with all the statements in this session. For example, in question 1, management staff and academic staff have skill and knowledge on how to provide good quality products and services. For this question, there are about 50% of the lecturer agree with this statement. Now I'm moving on to the organization identification, may also referred as IP2. In this session, also much of the lecturer agree and strongly agree with all the statements in this session. For example, question 2, when talking about the school that I work at, I try to use the pronoun we rather than they. For this question, there are about 41.7% of the lecturer strongly agree with this statement. Now moving on to the TV, job satisfactions. In this session, much of the lecturer strongly agree with all the statements I am asking in this part. For example, I am satisfied with the work I'm doing. For this question, there are about 54.2% of the lecturer strongly agree with this question. Now I'm moving on to the customer level. For descriptive analysis of customer, perceived value or IP1. In this session, most of the students agree and strongly agree with all the 6 questions asking in this session. For example, for question number 2, I thought the time I spent on the education service received was worth the cost. For this question, there are about 51.5 students agree and 23% of the students strongly agree with this statement. And some of the students also agree that they're having a good communication with the lecturer. Now moving on to the TV, customer satisfactions. In this session, also much of the students agree and strongly agree with all the questions are asking. For example, I am satisfied with the teaching method that lecturers are using. For this question, there are about 49% of the students agree and 29% of the students strongly agree. Some of the students also strongly agree that they will continue to study in UUM, such as Master and PhD, by contributed 37.5% in these sessions. To support the research, I was showing the correlation analysis. For the employee job satisfactions, from this table, we notice that the service claimants toward job satisfaction, the significant value is 0.035. This value is less than 0.05. Which means we are able to reject the null hypothesis for this statement. Secondly, organization identification toward job satisfaction. The significant value is 0.001. With this value, we also able to reject the null hypothesis. Now moving on to the correlation analysis of customer satisfaction. For the perceived value towards customer satisfaction, the significant value is 0.000. This value may less than 0 but not exactly 0. So we also able to reject the null hypothesis for this statement. For information, all the IV having a positive relationship towards the TV. Now I'm moving on to the hypothesis testing. For the hypothesis testing for service agreement toward job satisfaction, the R-squared value is 0.187. These values are considered quite low because it's lower than 0.30. So we're able to consider this relationship are weak. For the organization identifications, IV2, the R-squared is 0.393. This can consider moderate but not really strong. From this graph, we also notice that IV1 service agreement and TV job satisfaction having a positive but weak relationship because all the dots look like gunshot and far away from the line. Next, for IV2 organization identifications and job satisfaction TV. From the graph, we also notice that they're having a positive but weak relationship because all the dots are far away from the line. Now I'll proceed with the hypothesis testing of the perceived value IP1 to customer satisfaction. The R-squared is 0.408. This shows that they're having a moderate but not strong relationship. To support the analysis, I will show the point screen graph. We're able to observe that they're having a positive but moderate relationship due to the dots are not really close enough to the line. For the summary of data analysis, I would like to show the graph mean of job satisfaction and customer satisfaction. For observation, we notice that the mean of job satisfaction are slightly higher than customer satisfaction. With this, we are able to determine that job satisfaction perform better than customer satisfaction. The limitation of the research is I did not receive enough data from the employee because I only received 24% of lecturer answering the question A. For suggestions, I would like to suggest researchers in the future to collect independent variable as much as possible to support the customer satisfaction and list out the motivations support for the employee to increase their job satisfaction. In the conclusion, I would like to say that all the IV in this research having a positive relationship toward the DV, but all the relationships are considered weak and moderate but not strong. Thank you. That's all for me.